Welcome to the Wrestling's podcast. Look how formal we're sounding, man. Episode 51. Mandem. How you feeling, man? How's everyone feeling?
First of all, Happy New Year, man.
Oh, shit, look at us. Happy New Year, man. Happy New Year. Do you know the reason why I didn't say Happy New Year? Because I feel like I've been sent to the gulag again, fam.
What do you mean? Oh, in terms of lockdown?
Yeah, bro. Like, it's nuts, but you know, we all got to keep safe and you know, just be careful because this thing is pretty much getting out of hand right now, isn't it? So safety first, right?
Definitely.
Yeah,
word
man.
To the hat.
Trust me, safety first. Exactly, fam. Exactly, fam. But yeah, controversial files out right now.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And
looking very shallow.
I did say this off camera, off recording, that I have to, you know, congratulate Versi because Versi is now our, whose song is it, champion at the moment.
New champ.
Obviously, there might be a spanner in the works. So I got plans. Big up Versi, man, current champion. He smashed it. Oh, bro, he smashed it. Bro, I can't lie. Got 28, and yeah, man. I was surprised in the day. If you guys saw my reaction, you would have laughed. I think Derek, you ran out the room, didn't you?
Yeah. The thing is, he got to 27, and I was jumping with excitement.
Yeah.
Thinking, he got to like 25. 25. And then I'm thinking, Versi's going to smash it. Then he got to 27. I was thinking, shit, it's going to be a draw.
2 seconds left.
Yeah.
2 seconds left.
The Beth Phoenix one, I got that.
Yeah, no, you got it.
You got that.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah. That's strokes, man. But yeah, intros only. What we say for intros? Who wants to go first?
When I say guap, you say daddy. Guap.
Daddy. Guap. Let's go easy, bro.
The strong star rating, leg drop hating, big back rubbing, Chris Jericho lovers, son of a gun, Devil Boy. AKA, I forgot all my AKAs, man. AKA Easy today, fam.
Fam. Hey,
Afro man, fam.
Some Mark named Got Daddy. Was it?
Mark named Got Daddy. Afro Guap.
The Jake.
Fam, I don't know, man. I can't remember them. It's been a minute, man.
Yeah. It's been a minute, man. Verse, what we said?
Yes. Lucha V, Versi Jones from South London, best part of South London, home on the roadside. It's your boy. The new, whose song was it, champ? It's your boy, Lucha V. They got the Uncle Ray boys.
Yeah. Go, Mr. Underdone.
Jumping up the sky.
Right. Your boy Sam Blacks, Mr. Controversial, Underdone. This for a top 5 dead or alive. Controversial files out now. Fucking fine.
Plug it,
fam. Plug it. Trust me.
Thankfully, Wrestling.
Hey, it's the Foolish Professional, aka Nafi. Today it's peak because I can't even say what we've got, fam, because we've already got Zoom. But yeah, the Foolish Professional, aka Nafi. The girls love me because I'm a stone cold stunner, and that's my new intro. Let's go to the next one. What we said?
You need
to do intros with like some sort of like conviction. Like I feel like when you do,
you know what this looks to me?
You don't.
They lost the championship, bro.
I've lost my marbles, mate. I just speak to Justin from Clubhouse. Yeah, he's really good at speaking and moderating and stuff. So I was saying that, you know, it'd be good for me to go to promo sessions with him, innit?
Yeah, of course. Pro Wrestling Anonymous.
Trust me.
Pick up Pro Wrestling Anonymous. Yeah. First of all, let's talk about Versi. You need to get yourself on Clubhouse, man. Let's talk about Clubhouse quickly, on how this figure just popped off. Guys, what's she lot's taking at the moment?
Talk to me about it.
The Clubhouse thing's all right, you know. Hey, listen, I'm single now, so the Clubhouse thing's been all right. You know? Can't lie, man. Can't lie, it's been all right, you know. Anyway, besides that, let me stop being unprofessional. Besides that, it's been really, really good for wrestling purposes still. It's been good.
Talk your shit, man. Talk your shit.
Sam, talk your shit, man.
Of course, I was still talking about nonsense. You know this.
Talk your shit.
Nah, Clubhouse has been sick, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't lie, it's been sick, man. I don't know if it's what I mean, but ever since Clubhouse has come about, it's been harder to listen to podcasts. Do you guys into podcasts as much anymore?
I still listen to podcasts. I mean, I'm not on.
Yeah, I still listen. Yeah,
so explain what it is. Because they was mentioned it in the past to me before, but I like now that you guys are all on it, what exactly is it? Because I have the app, I just don't understand anything about it.
It's whenever someone asks me what Clubhouse is, I always say it's a at the moment it's basically a vocal version of Twitter. So from what I'm seeing, so guys are on there talking about topics. For example, you can have a topic saying, "Is John Cena the best WWE champion of all time?" And out of the blue, people will join the chat and we'll just discuss and we'll be like, "Cool, John Cena and so and so." And if you're lucky, John Cena himself might even join the chat and speak on it. So when I first made Clubhouse, I was in the chat and after they were casting Kevin Hart, and after Kevin Hart joined the chat, and Kevin Hart was like, "Oh, what's the reason why you guys don't actually like me?" And after they spoke about it, then something went left, and he never came back again. But it's basically that, really.
But how do you know him? Like, is it like verified or something?
No, he
like,
speaks.
How do you know?
Like he comes on.
People speak.
Oh, okay. His voice.
So you can speak to
you know what? When we met, sorry.
Go on, bro.
No, go on, carry on, bro. Sorry.
I was gonna say you can speak to any celeb, any celebrity. So Mace is always on there. Joe Biden's always on there. I've seen Tiffany. I've been in rooms with Tiffany Haddish, not speaking though. Tiffany Haddish, Ava DuVernay, Big E's on there, but he's never spoken yet. He was in a room with Ninth Wonder and who else is on there? Ninth Wonder, Just Blaze, and the other guys about. They're talking about hip hop and stuff, and he was just in the audience, and that's how I found him. I was like, "Oh shit, that's Big E." So it's quite cool. Yeah, David Otunga. Did he actually join the Clubhouse group then?
Yeah, he joined the group still.
Heck, that's big, man. That's big. Yeah, sorry, what were you saying, Zan, before? Was that what you were going to say?
No, I was just going to say, there was something I was going to say, but no, it's fine. I've actually forgotten now.
All right, cool. Guys, wrestling. Let's talk wrestling, man. Have you guys found these past couple of weeks ever since we haven't, come on a pod and spoken?
Still watching. I'm watching the usual. Still watching AW. I look at highlights of WWE. Sad to hear my boy Drew got COVID, man.
Yeah.
That was a madness.
No, it definitely was a madness, but he should be back for the Royal Rumble, so that should be good.
Yeah. I think he's back on Monday.
Yeah, he's coming back on Monday, actually. Shit.
Coming back on Monday.
Yeah.
He's actually gonna. I can't lie to you.
So is he gonna face Goldberg? I don't want to see that, and I don't want.
Apparently they've got a face-to-face on Monday on Raw.
I don't want to see that, man.
I can't lie.
The whole promo didn't make any sense.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, can we talk about it quickly as well? So the promo that he cut, it didn't make I watched it back in it because obviously Mex was talking about the review this week on Raw, and basically Drew McIntyre is like a good guy. Drew McIntyre never said nothing bad. When you see Drew McIntyre, he respects everyone. Maybe we're talking about the Hill Drew McIntyre, but this Drew McIntyre now, different guy. Goldberg's not coming in the ring saying, "You don't respect us." When did he say that? Why are you putting words into my mouth? Goldberg's moving like a bully, fam. And he pushes man on the floor. You get what I mean, fam?
That was... Yeah. And then they ended the show like that. He got in his head. He can't be pushing the main man like that on the floor. Like he's some lip on,
bro. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Goldberg, I don't know. With his age, his promos are deader. The guy thinks he can just push everyone around, but you're not strong anymore. I don't know, mate. I don't know for Goldberg, bro. I'm fed up of him anyway. Ever since he almost killed Undertaker, I don't rate him.
Do you think he's taking the title from Drew?
I don't want him to, but yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, bro, yeah. I think...
What do you think?
What happened?
Yeah, wait for you, bro.
Sorry. No, fam, I was listening. I didn't even hear my name. Do I think he's going to take... Fam, do you know what's actually crazy? Not even just this match, but even maybe Royal Rumbles also. This is the first time in a while where I actually have no predictions. I actually don't know what's going to happen. I don't... for me, I personally don't see the reason in Goldberg winning the title. I think the era, the period that we're in right now, fair enough, ratings is important, but at the same time, there's no real crowd there's no crowd there, so you don't really need to try and do things based off crowd reaction. You guys they've more or less got the basis to do whatever they want because nobody's at these shows. They can try and experiment with different things. So is he going to win? I couldn't tell you. I honestly don't know. Do I want him to win? Hell no. I don't want to see Goldberg. I don't want to see Goldberg wrestling for world titles.
Same
whatsoever.
I agree. And I don't
want to see Drew lose the title. He deserves a good long reign, especially after the hiccup with Randy. They remedied it. He's got the belt back now. He doesn't need to lose it. Should not be losing it.
Yeah.
Versus, do you know what it is? Yeah.
I didn't really mind him losing the belt. I didn't really mind him. Yeah, not to Goldberg.
Oh no, the Randy
to Randy, I didn't mind it. But for him to lose to Goldberg, it wouldn't make any sense to me. I honestly so when people are saying it has to happen, for me it's like, what is the end goal? So Goldberg wins, and then what's the plan for him to lose at WrestleMania again, like he did last year? It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Makes no sense.
I agree. But do you know what it is? The problem with this thing, the problem with what's happening now is that we as the fans, we don't want Drew to lose the belt, but we know what's gonna happen, bro. Goldberg's gonna win it, and they're somehow gonna get Drew versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania because The Rock can't make it, or they want to save that for a better day with their fans. Do you know what I mean?
I don't understand what's his purpose for him winning the title? No. Is it just to say that I've won every title in the WWE or I've won every world title? Like, I don't understand the objective of what WWE are trying to do. Like, it's not going to give them any bigger ratings for me. Like, I don't know. That's just me personally. Like, Goldberg, you're bloody hench grandpa. Like, it's getting jarring. Like, it's not your generation anymore. Just get. Sorry, did I say something bad there?
No.
Anyway, he's just a grumpy old grandpa, like trying to pick on guys like Matt Riddle and get the hell out of here, brother. It's jarring.
No, but the Matt Riddle thing, I can't lie. Bro, Matt Riddle started it first, right? Matt Riddle's been trying to leech him in for time, bro. So I think he's just trying to get a match there, innit? So, but yeah, the Goldberg thing did make sense. I'm loving this whole Randy Orton and the Fiend sort of situation that we got here. Randy Orton appeared on Raw with a luchador mask. I'm not joking. One of them. What can I call this mask, bro? Is it like what can I call this mask?
It's a burnt mask, isn't it? I don't know.
Burnt mask, yeah. Man called it a luchador mask, a burnt mask. It was looking mad. The promo he cut was sick. Like him talking about, it's not his fault. It's not Alexa Bliss's fault. It's actually the Fiend's fault and stuff. I think it's good. What do you guys think about it?
I haven't watched it.
I like it, but I think the theme needs to... The promo was... I did catch the promo. I looked up on Reddit. But it's like a good kind of super villain kind of thing that is going on. But I just think... me personally, I don't care when I see Randy Orton versus The Fiend or Bray Wyatt. Their matches just never do it for me. But I do like the storyline. I think the Fiend Fiend needs to be the one that needs to get the win, and it's just lost them on it.
The theme would definitely. I feel like the theme. I think from this transitional stage of him getting burned, I think the Fiend's definitely going to come for his neck. It's going to take him out. It's going to take him out.
Pause though. I said the Fiend's going to.
I said something wrong.
He said the Fiend's going to come for his neck. I said the Fiend's going to come for his neck. Hey, Joe's funny, yeah. Hey, you said the same thing on the controversial ones, isn't it? About Randy, he said, Samoa Joe wants to come for his neck. I was like, yeah.
But sorry, I'm very raw with it, man. I'm sorry.
I get it.
You know me, bro. I love wrestling so much. I feel like, bro, I talk how I am in the band. I'm sorry, bro. By the man before the band.
Oh, trust me. But yeah, guys, SmackDown, Roman Reigns. How are you guys feeling about this new link up he's got with Apollo Crews? No, it's not even a link up, but that segment he had with Apollo Crews.
I haven't seen.
I just want to see what happens next.
You haven't seen it?
I just want to see what happens next.
I haven't seen it. Me personally, I can't watch Raw. I can't watch SmackDown. I'm so sorry.
But Apollo Crews with who? Sorry.
So Roman Reigns, yeah. So, Versi, did you watch it fully?
I didn't see this.
I just saw the highlight. I can't see anything too tough.
Yeah. So I think on Talking Smack here, Paul Heyman had like a little thing with Apollo Crews, and he was like, I think just trying to like do the same thing and done the Big E and like, yo, but you deserve better.
Are you talking about Talking Smack? I thought you were talking about actual SmackDown show.
And it happened on SmackDown as well. So
the week after.
The week after. So basically, Apollo Crews was like, I think Paul Heyman was just like gassing him up, saying, yeah, you can do this. I feel like you're the chat. You can be basically better than what you are now. And on SmackDown, there was a scene with Roman Reigns like reading a contract, and after I think Adam Pearce walks in and he goes, I think he's like, oh, can I speak to you for a second? After the camera pans around and Apollo Crews is there sitting down, and Apollo Crews goes, should I leave? And after Roman Reigns goes, no, don't leave. So I think everyone's just writing on Twitter saying they're gassed about what's going to happen next for Apollo Crews, and if there is something going to happen, then they're interested in it. So
no, definitely interesting, man. I think coming from SmackDown was all right this week. There was a sick match. Was it Cesaro and Daniel Bryan?
Yeah, that match was sick. When Cesaro cut the back,
I watched that match.
Boy, that was cold. And Shinsuke's gauntlet run, that was cold.
Sick. That was
cold. Listen, Shinsuke's been underestimated for too long, and it's so jarring. Just put the belt in him already, for God's sake, bruv. It's like they kind of used him as a pawn for this Roman Reigns situation, and now I don't know. I don't think he'll be utilized. But I don't know. Royal Rumble's going to be unpredictable, isn't it? But
yeah, very unpredictable.
Speaking of Roman, I like what Roman's doing, but I'm very tired of this Kevin Owens shoot. Like Kevin's gonna lose, so it's just pointless. I was more excited when I saw Adam Pearce. I was like, okay, it's something different, it's fresh.
I wanted to see that match.
Yeah. When he was a replacement, I was like, I'd rather him be Shinsuke because he's getting the push now, thinking, okay, do that match for the Royal Rumble. But another Kevin Owens thing, I don't care. I know he's gonna lose.
Yeah, it's done for me as well. What else happened on SmackDown that was...
You know what? I even wanted to go back to Raw. I entirely wanted to rewind back to Raw. This Alexa Bliss, I'm telling you, Alexa Bliss is the best woman to come out of this whole quarantine period. Besides Bayley. Alexa Bliss. Okay. She finished off Asuka with kind of ease, like on Monday. Like it was kind of
better than Sasha.
No. Alexa Bliss, she wiped out Asuka. Like,
no, but I'm saying you said she's the best to come out of quarantine, but she wasn't better than Sasha.
In terms of character, character development. The way in the the Fire Clubhouse, and then even she's got like her own show on Raw, and she invited Asuka in, and that was mad.
Is that when she's sitting on the swing and after she told Asuka to get off the swing?
Yeah, and I'm thinking, wow, this woman is tapped. There's a couple things that have happened, man. Like I think WWE, like I said, is on and off. It's hot and cold, man. There's some good things about the product, and it's just some things which I just don't care about.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Anyone got any early predictions for the Rumble match?
Pardon me?
Anyone got any early predictions for the Rumble match? For winners, men and women. I got mine.
Yeah, go ahead because I need some inspiration.
No idea.
But the storylines are so all over the place. I don't know who's got momentum right now.
I feel like it's going to be... So no, I'll continue.
No, I was going to say, but in me saying that, I think for me, that's kind of a good thing. So for example, last year, we all had a hope that Drew was going to win, and we all had a feeling that Drew was going to win. He had like a massive run towards Royal Rumble. But it was like, you know what? He's gone from a heel to a face. So, and he started doing the 3, 2, 1 Claymore. So we kind of had the inkling that, you know what? He might be the one to win the Royal Rumble. This year, there's not really, besides the push that, Cesaro's been getting, Shinsuke's been getting. Other than that, I have no real inkling of who can win. So I don't know if that's potentially a good thing, because it could be a surprise to all of us who could potentially win. But I'm seeing a lot of people say that they think Daniel Bryan's going to win.
Yeah, my predictions for the women, I think it's going to be Bianca Belair, and for men's, I think it's Daniel Bryan. Just because there's an easy story to be told on both sides. Sasha and Bianca Belair is a matchup that hasn't happened yet. They've been kept away from each other. And the fact that she's feuding with Bayley, it kind of builds up to that, the former champ. And for Daniel Bryan, there's history there, do you know what I'm saying? And there's been interactions between Daniel Bryan and Paul Heyman on saying that he's never won a Battle Royale or never a Royal Rumble. So it's like an easy way to fit him in. Unless you've got an opponent for Roman to face.
Yeah, no, that would definitely be a shout. What do you think, Lloyd?
Bro, I can't lie, it's difficult at the moment, but I feel like WWE, like I'm gonna move like a fan right now, innit? So obviously I watched the AJ Styles documentary, and the way these lot are like talking about AJ Styles, the way they present AJ Styles in the Untold thing, I feel like the only thing left for him to get, main thing in WWE to get right now is the Royal Rumble. So him winning the Royal Rumble makes sense, but I don't know how it's gonna happen unless they do this. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong here. After the Royal Rumble, is there gonna be like there's an elimination chamber, right?
Yeah, and then they've brought back Fastlane now as well. So there's 2 pay-per-views.
There's 2 pay-per-views.
That's too much, man. That's too much. Take off Fastlane. But yeah, what was I saying? I think it makes for them. WWE makes sense. So they're trying to drag out to see if they can get fans in for WrestleMania, right? So I think them putting it there is kind of like. Actually, wait, is WrestleMania always been the same day, April, right?
Yeah, it's in April.
Sometimes
March or early April.
Yeah. So they're probably trying to drag it out so they can get fans in. But yeah, AJ for me, or after Cesaro's performance on SmackDown this week when he defeated Daniel Bryan, I think he probably have a chance as well. But you know how WWE are with Cesaro and these guys, man. They'll just give them that little 5-minute slot, and after the next thing you know, they're gone. Like Cesaro has been a Paul Heyman guy. He's been a 007 James Bond sort of. He's been everything, bro, in WWE at the moment, but a champion. Do you know what I mean? And we need that to happen. But if they can give us that, then it's cool. But because a couple of weeks last week we had Shinsuke Mania. Do you get what I mean? And that's kind of died out now because we don't know if that's actually going to happen.
I think the reason why these men probably won't be champion, which is going to be a bit of a sad one. I feel like their characters are just doesn't really reach out to the WWE audience like that. So I think from that, Vince is probably...
Who's Shinsuke?
Oh, Shinsuke does, bro.
Yes and no. And I will say that because... actually, I'll say something mad here. No. Yeah, exactly.
So I can't lie, yeah. Our internet connections right now, yeah. Internet connections are very weird. So if you say something, yeah, it's going to be so...
That's what
our reactions are going to be so different.
I can't. Obviously, I don't know what to say. I can't even.
Okay, but let's stick on to that. Why do you think Shinsuke no?
Obviously, I feel like it's language barriers. That's the honest truth. It's language barriers. That's what I feel. I don't feel like the crowd can really relate to Shinsuke because it's like Asuka, isn't it? Like the crowd are not.
But people love Asuka, though.
Yeah, they do. But
let's keep it a buck. Shinsuke can speak English. I don't think like. If you know Shinsuke can speak English.
Yeah, that's
he's obviously playing up to the character, but at the same time, with people like Shinsuke, where they're so world renowned, like Shinsuke is one of them people where even if he didn't make it into, even if he didn't choose to come to WWE, he still would be one of the world class wrestlers in the world.
100%.
So Cesaro, I kind of agree with, but Shinsuke, I don't know, because when he had that feud, when he won the Royal, he obviously won the Royal Rumble for a reason. They wanted to put a strap on his back. So it's not like they don't have faith in him. Yeah. It's just that, obviously, I don't know, sometimes the ideas become convoluted. But Shinsuke, I don't agree with. But Cesaro, yeah, you probably do have a case for not enough.
But the thing is, the reason why I'll even elaborate on that is because Shinsuke had a bit of a dry period and you didn't really see too much out of Shinsuke. Maybe it's because of how WWE embraced him. But you weren't really seeing much of Shinsuke. Like, I wasn't hearing too much of him. All he was just, you know what I mean? I don't know.
I will say, that's a good point. I will say that his performances, they've been lackluster. Like, if you compare him to how he was in New Japan, of course, the wrestling style was different. But Shinsuke had a lot of fire when he came to NXT to face Sami Zayn. And I'll say when he won the Rumble. But after that, his matches has been, up until the Gauntlet match, they've been very just...
the same level.
Yeah. I agree. And even that whole, I feel like, I don't know if it's only me, but the tag team picture that they put him in kind of slowed it down a bit as well. I feel like he looked like he was too comfortable. He looked like he wasn't, not saying interested, but he was like, yeah, I'm hearing it. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm showing my face.
Don't get it twisted. Cesaro and Shinsuke on paper are a very dangerous tag team, but...
Of course.
You know.
Of course, but at the time when they're doing the whole tag team thing, I feel like, WWE didn't really care about tag teams. So it was just
they don't care about them.
They don't really care. They just
they don't care. They haven't cared for years.
Exactly. That's why this Dusty Rhodes Cup, it doesn't only have to be NXT, bro.
Yo, it's Anafi here, and you're listening to the Wrestling Podcast by the man them, for the man them, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it needs to be tag team from the...
I was saying this Dusty Rhodes Cup thing, yeah, doesn't have to be, shouldn't only be NXT and 205 Live. It needs to be the whole thing. Everyone needs to be included in that. Do you know what I mean? If it's new tag teams being made.
I don't know.
Because it's my first time watching it, right? And I'm saying that, cool. If these other talent, like, we always complain that certain talents are not being used. Like, for example, the Drew Gulaks, what am I saying? Who else is there? Is Drew Gulak even in it? So even stuff like that. Like, why don't
he had a match against AJ Styles like last week?
Is Drew Gulak even in the Dusty Rhodes Cup?
No, he's on Raw. That's why.
That's what I'm gonna say. So I feel like they should include Raw and SmackDown in this. Do you get what I mean? For all the talent that's not been used in it. But then again, it's my first time watching it throughout, so I can't really speak that. I can't really say so much in it. But yeah, what do you guys think?
I get it. I think if there's majority NXT tag teams, because NXT have now, I feel like for years NXT have always developed this kind of like just pitting two people together to create a tag team, and majority like three of the past winners for the Dusty Rhodes Cup have been two people just put together. So Finn and Samoa Joe, Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle, Aleister Black and Ricochet. And even last year's tournament, the thing that annoyed me about last year's tournament is that there's so many different tag teams that could have, like the Grizzled Young Veterans could have easily won, Imperium could have easily won. If they wanted to, they could have made Undisputed Era win the Dusty Rhodes Cup again, or even Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. I just feel like WWE are just very lazy, and NXT have kind of suffered through that with just, you know what, there's not enough tag teams. Let's just put this star and this star together to bring more eyes. And for me, it's kind of like that. For me, that deviates why this cup is important. This is meant to showcase tag teams. But because you guys have already cribbed the idea of, you know what, tag team wrestling isn't really important, but God knows how many years now, tag team wrestling has been one of the pinnacle points of NXT. Like, we've seen it with the feuds with like DIY and
Revival,
DIY and American Alpha. What's the other guys? Razor and what's the Authors of Pain? You know what I'm saying? So for years, there's always been six. Even the Wyatts, the Ascension. So tag team wrestling has been imprinted within NXT. So I don't know why they don't just shoot the rocket with it. So I mean, this year alone, there's way more tag teams than there usually is. And I think it's going to be a good tournament this year. I just feel like they just need to keep their eyes on the prize and just, you know what, stop pitting two people. And if they're going to sign people, kind of develop them to become tag team as time goes on, as opposed to, you know what, this cup needs more stars, it needs more eyes, when really and truly it doesn't. Like, last year, I don't think Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle had to have been in the tournament. It made for a good story, but generally I feel like they're way better tag teams. Like Grizzled Young Veterans, I feel like they should have won. But then I don't feel like they're going to win this year. So for me, it's kind of like it's taken away from them.
I think, like I said, with WWE, it's just, I think a lot of it's based on star power, innit? It's not really good. Just take the wrestlers for how they are, like, actually make it more organic. So like you said, in terms like, just make the tag teams win, innit? Like, that's how you boost up their moral. That's how you boost up their name. If you're just bringing two names like Pete Dunne, for example, or Matt Riddle to win the tournament, it's like, okay, cool, like they've won it, but like, what value are you adding to their criteria already, which they probably have, which they've probably achieved already in terms. So, yeah, I think it should be an up-and-coming tag team that should win the tournament. It's unacceptable. And in terms of the main roster, I do slightly feel like everyone should come in, and that's only because that the fact that the main roster has no excitement in terms of the tag team division right now. So it's only right to stamp them in there.
My thing is, bouncing off what Del was saying, it's like it kind of makes, to me, it makes me lose investment for the whole tournament itself, because so many winners are the ones that are just like, these people are not teams anymore. Finn Balor has not even tagged with so much, so that's not even wrestling. Like it just makes it like, oh, like what makes your team going to win now? You look at the lineup, you're like, and even if you see someone win, are they going to disband in a couple of months' time? And then what? Like, what legitimacy does it have? Yeah, people have won the tournament, but what does it lead to? Has it led to a lengthy title tag run? Has it led to a killer feud? No, it's just led to, oh, these guys won. That was it. See you next year.
I'll tell you what, though. when Riddle and what's his name, Pete Dunne won, yeah, they were doing this whole sick thing where they're driving around with the trophy and making some sort of like they were on their way to becoming the thingy of like a tag team, right? They're called what they called the bruiser, the
Broserweights.
The Broserweights, exactly. But obviously, COVID kicked in. Pete had to return back to London or return back to UK, sorry, and it kind of like things went the other way. Matt Riddle then ended up on Raw or SmackDown where he ended up, and it kind of things didn't work out in it. So I feel like in their defense, COVID shagged that thing there. But obviously, it's my first time watching the Dusty Cup, so
The thing, outside looking in, I would get why you'd say that, but at the same time, maybe Versi could agree with me. The point of this feud was to kind of like, it was two different people from two different extremes. They've now come together, but at some point there is going to be a boiling point of them breaking up. Like, I personally don't think Timothy Thatcher was ever meant to have been the tag team partner for Matt Riddle. It's only because of COVID that came up, and then that ended up being the reason why they've ended up splitting up. And we got something good out of it because the Timothy Thatcher and Matt Riddle that fight pit was an amazing match. So it's not to say that we didn't get something positive out of it, but I just feel like Versi says, how can we be invested in a tournament when really and truly, all we see are two people come together, they win the tournament, and the next thing you know, they go their separate ways. I feel like maybe this year, because we've got a plethora of tag teams, it will be way different. We've got the MSKs, we've got the Imperium, Breezango are out now. We've got so many tag teams in it, so it's a possibility where this year a proper tag team wins, and it then goes on to a lengthy feud with Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. But I mean, who's to say next year they're not going to now bring two stars to now come and win the tournament? Because it's like, if we now compare it to something, it's similar to like the Money in the Bank. People win the Money in the Bank, they don't done it, and they end up losing. They end up losing when they cash in. So it's like, how do you expect me to be invested in this match type when every time someone cashes it in, next thing you know, they lose out on it. So then it now makes the Money in the Bank redundant. It's just, for me, it just becomes a prop. It doesn't even seem like it's something where it feels important. But go on, bro.
I will say, I would agree with you, but the thing about Money in the Bank, at least there was a couple of years of legitimacy where the first couple of
100%. Facts.
So then it kind of creates a kind of like a roulette now. But I do agree, the last couple of them, when it's just been losers, you're like, well, another loser kind of thing.
That's quick question, Versi. Remind me, yeah. The last person to cash in the Money in the Bank was Brock Lesnar, right?
No, it was The Miz, but he got it back.
So before The Miz, Brock Lesnar.
Successfully.
It was Brock Lesnar, right? Cool. Yeah. The Miz one, fam, I feel like it's done out from when Drew McIntyre done Cannonball, he threw it to the entrance there. Fam, that shows the state of the Money in the Bank. Man, don't give a toss about Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank was a thing, because I remember yesterday I was watching I was saying, Sam, I'm watching like old school AJ matches in it from when AJ came in Royal Rumble 2016 to like, where he's now, the SummerSlam moment. And bro, I think there was Money in the Bank, Drew McIntyre, it was Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose comes in, gives flipping Seth Rollins the dirty deeds and pins him. That's how Money in the Bank should be. Do you get what I mean? It shouldn't be a thing where the challengers is
that Money in the Bank was sick. That's where Seth Rollins beat Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And then, fam, that was a sick.
That was sick.
Yeah, fam. That's because that's when Seth Rollins returned, didn't it? Like he came back around that period.
Yeah,
he was doing
he came back. Rebuild. He came back on Payback, I think so. Because I think AJ had a title match with, was it? Okay, let me do some F&E in it, but yeah, AJ and Roman Reigns had a match for the title, right? At Payback, right? AJ lost.
Yeah, they had two matches.
Yeah, Seth appears. And after, I think that's it. But yeah, that was great. That was a great Money in the Bank. Amazing, man. So the last successful cash in match was Brock Lesnar, innit? But guys, let us know what you think, man. AEW, touch on AEW. Just to quickly deviate from WWE and AEW real quick. I want to quickly talk about MLW.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Up to date. Unfortunately.
Go and say that further, bro.
No, I said that you guys up to date with MLW.
Results-wise, I haven't watched it. I know Leo Rush won the championship.
Okay, we don't have to even speak about what's happened recently. Have you guys watched Did you guys watch the Kings of Colosseum event?
I've seen a bit of it.
Okay, not gonna lie, I'm starting to fall off MLW. I'm not. I don't think I'm enjoying it as much as.
Same.
I don't think I'm enjoying it as much as I was before.
Do you think the pandemic hit that company the hardest?
Fam, let me be honest with you. Let me even hold the microphone. Look into my eyes, yeah. MLW was chizzed by COVID. I'm so sorry. Listen, COVID has done pamming, but COVID hasn't pammed any company like it pammed MLW. I'm so sorry. Because
MLW and NWA got pammed the hardest.
Fam, they got pammed, honestly.
Even
got pammed.
What match was
and just watching the Kings of Colosseum, I think it was the main event. It was Hammerstone versus that fam. The finish of that pissed me off.
Fam, they run out of time.
Yeah.
They ran out of time on TV.
Fam, it's on YouTube. It was.
Bro, I couldn't believe it.
Like, fam, it was bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've never watched an event and thought to myself, this is whack.
Yeah.
Like, there was 3 matches on the card, so it was the Von Erichs in a Texas Tornado style match. It was a medium match. I won't even lie to you. Then it was Leo Rush versus Myron Reed for the MLW middleweight title. That match was superb. Then it was Alexander Hammerstone versus Mads Kruger for the MLW National Openweight title. And, like, it had glimpses, it had potential to be very, very good. But then, fam, was it a double counter or something?
Bro, it was...
I just remember them fighting outside and I see the MLW logo in the corner. You know when the wrestling event is finishing and you see the logo in the corner?
Yeah.
I saw that and I said, what?
The copyright and the trademark in the bottom right
corner. I saw it and I said, what? This is done already.
The stream ended.
I was like, this is a shit finish, man.
Bro, it wasn't even a count out. Bro, it wasn't a count out. It wasn't a count out because the referee followed them in. The referee followed them to the back, from what I remember. So
did they miss or something? What the fuck?
Fam, I don't know how they... Bro, this is the main event and we've been waiting for this match for time. They've been building up this match for years.
For months.
Yeah, they've been building that for the whole contract unit, isn't it?
Because Kruger's just coming and squashing their man, fam. And it's like, bro, I don't know. I was upset about that.
Yeah. After I watched that, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pay attention, but I'm not gonna spend time watching. I think it was last week's MLW. It was the La Parkas versus the Von Erichs. And when I say, like, bro, I need you lot to watch this. When you guys get a chance, just watch the La Parkas versus
Von Erichs.
The Von Erichs. And I swear to you, bro, I've never been so baffled by finish. It was meant to be a Texas Tornado match, but then it got to a point where, okay, if you don't know what Texas Tornado style match is, it's basically when both men in both teams are legal, so you don't have to tag each other. But then it got to a point where, and Filthy Tom Lawler was the referee, but it got to a point where, like, halfway through the match, Parker and one of the Von Erichs went outside on the ring to wait for tags, and I was thinking, what is actually going on? Like, I'm so confused. This makes no sense. How could it go from a tornado style match to a normal tag match, then it went straight back to a tornado style match? And I was like, nah, this shit went lows. I was so shit.
Fam, I don't know what's going on, because you know what, Anafi, what you were saying, I think you said it on a group chat or something like that. You said that wrestling, you've not really been feeling wrestling these past couple of weeks.
Bro, I haven't.
Fam, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm starting to even see the same now, because it's, I don't know.
Do you know what it was? I can't lie. When I sent that, it was when I was editing, it was before I was editing Controversial Files. Because once I was editing Controversial Files, I was watching AEW and SmackDown and Raw back to back. So I was watching Raw and I was like, fam, this is shit. There was this, bro. Then SmackDown came out. I was like, oh, okay, cool, it was better. Then when I watched AEW, I was like, oh, this is sick. Do you get what I mean? So I think it was just a change of emotions, but I still struggle to watch it. Like, even yesterday, Impact, like, I heard, like, obviously Derek put in a group chat about Private Party coming in. I was like, oh, sick, let me try and watch that, fam. I fell asleep.
Yeah.
Normally, I'll stay up and watch it.
Thing. I was just thinking, Impact is not the same anymore, man.
No, it's getting better. It's getting better.
The thing is, I haven't watched. It's mad. You know, who am I to judge it? I need to start watching it, man.
Yeah. I used to be the biggest Impact guy.
I know.
I thought for years, I've not been invested in Impact. It's been Impact. And then when flipping Josh Matthews was on commentary, I was like, I'm done.
He's not on commentary. He's not on commentary anymore.
No. It's D'Lo and
God,
and Matt Striker.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check out to kill, but I mean, the whole time I was just like, it sounds like he's constipated every time he talks.
What I will say is, I feel like D'Lo and Matt Striker have added a more of like an expertise kind of depth to commentary. Whereas with Josh Matthews and his wife, I can't remember her name. She recently retired. Madison Rayne, yeah. God bless her. She's an amazing wrestler. I just felt it's just too much like, it's like, let's say, for example, you're dating someone, you guys know you're dating, but you don't want the world to know. So your banter that you guys are doing is kind of like, if they knew, it's fine. It's just so shitty. Their commentary just pisses me off. And the thing with Josh Matthews as well, it's like, Josh Matthews is one of those people where, and if you've seen it from even when he first started in Impact, you can tell that he's bitter about WWE. Like, that's just the way he comes across. Yeah, like you can just tell he's bitter about WWE.
This is strange.
So the fact that, fam. So the fact that Matt Striker,
it's like he just needs to shit, man. Just let it out.
Crazy, man. So I'm in that regards, I'm happy that they've got a new commentary team. But the only problem I'm having with them, and this is similar to like Ring of Honor and MLW, they need to, actually, to be fair, TNA have Impact have added like canned crowd noises. So Hard to Kill was a bit more bearable than I expected it to be. So it sounded a bit better. But the things with their crowd noises, it's like going on YouTube and typing in crowd noise. And you see the clip
and the first result is the one that they clicked.
And the clip is like 10 seconds, but they keep, like, you see on Final Cut Pro, and they're putting on top of each other.
Oh, that is so lazy.
So it's not like WWE's one, where WWE's one is reactive. Like, a move could happen, and they know the right crowd noise to put up. But someone will do their finisher in Impact, and nobody, fam, it's like story designer on WWE.
Yeah. My only gripe with WWE is that with the new crowd noise that they've got here is that when Roman's in the ring and he's kind of promo, they're booing for the whole segment. That don't really happen in real life. Beep it. If Roman's speaking, there'll be a bit of like murmur and stuff. The next thing you know, if he did something outrageous and said, "This is my house," and then they'll boo on a madness. You get what I mean? But they're booing for like the whole segment. Man can't even get a word out for them. Like, come on, man. But yeah, TNA Hard to Kill was easy to watch. It was good to watch because of the crowd noise and stuff. But yeah, how did you find that pay-per-view anyway?
Have you ever got Vessi, Sam? Have you guys watched it?
I haven't watched the pay-per-view.
I haven't, but I want to see the main event because I want to see Moose. I want to see how Moose is.
Okay, for me, I would personally say, Moose is the MVP of the night.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah, Moose is the MVP of the night.
Not surprised by that. Moose is the G.
As in,
Moose has got drip, you know. He's got flavour. Let's chat.
No, fam, Moose, like, for me, like, I think we can all agree that Rich Swann and Kenny Omega would be an amazing match to see.
Yeah.
But now, I do not care if Rich Swann loses the title to Moose.
Yeah.
I need to see Moose as well because Moose stole the show.
Yeah, Moose.
I'm happy to hear that.
That Spanish fly.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's insane.
Moose stole the show.
I even wanted to say, what's that move when he did the flip? But that's it, the Spanish fly.
Yeah,
was sick, man.
You know what I need to see then? Because you know how Kenny's basically going to be winning. He's trying to collect all the belts. Yeah. What I'd want to see. Let me know if you want to see it. Rich Swann loses it to Kenny, but then Kenny loses it to Moose.
Oh yeah, no. 100%. A few people have said that. A few people have said that.
I said Moose deserves it anyway. So
no, facts.
Hey, but
I would say when you do watch it, the matches to watch are the X Division title match.
Yeah.
Chris Bay's in that.
Who's that?
Chris Bay's
in that one.
Yeah, Chris Bay, Rahit Roju, and Manic TJP.
Manic. That was a sick match.
That match.
Did you enjoy the match with Sami Callihan and what's the other guy called again? Eddie.
No, I hated that match.
You didn't like it?
I thought that match was so shit.
You know, I've never been invested in Sami. You know, Sami Callihan. I just don't care for it.
You have the same match all the time. Yeah, what's for me? When I watched it, it was more of the pain factor. So I was watching, I was like, and I enjoyed it in that sense, innit? I sound like a madman. But yeah, I enjoyed it in that sense. It was the horror.
That's how they enjoyed the pain.
The pain of it was mad. It was like what the flip? Man had the Nintendo game. Was it GameCube?
Oh yeah, the Nintendo, the GameCube. No, not GameCube.
Nintendo 64.
64, yeah.
What was it? What did Zack Ryder make an appearance in it?
Yeah.
That's why
I swear they've dragged that out already. Didn't he go somewhere else?
He was in AEW for like 2 appearances.
But he wasn't signed.
Drag that return.
Yeah, he wasn't signed. He's signed to Impact now, though.
Yeah, he's signed to Impact now. I wasn't really gassed. I just thought, bro, I've seen
that shit so long time ago. I don't care about it.
You know what I feel like? I feel like AEW and Impact are just the same thing now because they're always up and down. You know, I've seen superstars from AEW, and it's not the same. It's not the same. But I just look at it as like, bruv, like, why is that coming to Impact? We already know you're in the independent circuit. Like, why are you bare gassing it up? Like, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Do you know what it is, Sav? At the moment, what I'm saying is that it's not like a trend, but there's a lot of wrestlers that are just going from brand to brand, yeah. And 1 minute they're at AEW, 1 minute at TNA, and I love that. Next thing you know, they're signed to the actual place, and I like that. Do you know what I mean? And I also like the surprise factor of it being like, for example, when the Good Brothers turn up on AEW, I was like, raw, that's it. Do you know what I mean? So all of that was gas. I like seeing stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And even this week when the private party one was sick.
I was happy about that. I was thinking, oh shit, that's sick.
And that's their first win. That's their first win in a while, fam. Do you know what I mean? And even I was gonna say, even I thought South for Young Bucks as well, because flipping Don Callis was like, yeah, man, Kenny Omega's gonna team up with his good friends, his best friends. The next it's the Good Brothers. The Young Bucks are backstage. Do you know what I mean? From inside. Yeah, it was sick. Like stuff like that is sick, bro. And it would be nice if the whole wrestling industry was involved in it. Do you know what I mean?
Next minute it will be like football transfers. That's the only thing that'll start to annoy me, bro.
Let it be. There needs to be the top paid wrestler. Let it be. It makes the game more exciting. It makes it more exciting. Imagine, look, a big transfer. Kenny Omega goes to WWE. He plays 5 years at WWE. The next minute he finishes off his career in what Australian Championship Wrestling. Do you know what I mean? Which is so I like that. I like that idea. It'd be sick. But AEW.
Speaking of Kenny, I was gonna say that. Yeah, AEW. I've been enjoying it. Did you guys see the Brian Cage and Darby Allin match?
No, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it. Talk to me, guys.
Crazy.
What happened? What was the highlight?
Really sick. Well, Sting came out, but I think my highlight for me was the whole. No, I know. The walkout thing is getting a bit long, but the whole thing is that seeing someone literally, Brian Cage is like 3 times the size of Darby Allin. I like the kind of David Goliath matches where you see them struggling trying to get the win. So he won with like a crucifix roll off from the top rope. And it looked a bit clumsy, but it made sense for the whole match because you don't really see someone like Darby pinning Cage clean. You know what I'm saying? Like Darby was bleeding. It was like a whole crazy match. I really liked it. I was a bit let down by the Pac and Eddie Kingston match because I was thinking, the promos have been doing it.
Yeah, I watched that. I watched that.
But I think there's going to be another one still. Jade Cargill was about.
She was at the dentist place, isn't it?
Yeah, at the waiting room, kind of like her little show. And Red Velvet is sick as well, so they're going to have a match at some point. And yeah, the 6-man with Good Brothers and Kenny Omega.
That was it.
And just all the segments with people in the circle. Like for me, even if the matches aren't delivered with AEW, I'm always entertained. There's always something in the 2 hours where I'm just like, oh, that was sick, a memorable promo, a good match or something. I never leave it like, oh, that was dead. There's so much variety on the show.
But do you know what it is? I feel the same way with with WWE. Like there's certain, obviously I hate to compare, but there's certain times I watch WWE and there's like one match that stands out. I think we've had this conversation before. It feels like
but we got. I'm saying that without comparison. Of course, there is things that I like in SmackDown, but I think, to be honest, I got a seat for it. I have to let the show end and look at the results and go, okay, let me check that. Whereas I can sit through AEW for the 2 hours and be like, oh, that's it. I won't have to like check it back and feel like I've wasted my time.
When's the last time you guys have seen a match? You've watched a match here, for example, the AJ and Ricochet match. You've watched that and you said, oh, do you know, I need to go watch that back, and you've actually gone to watch it. Have you done that?
Go on. Sorry.
Well, on what?
As of recent.
So as of recent, what match have I rewatched?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Come back to me.
I think.
I'll tell you like no. I rewatched the Brody Jr. show. The one in tribute. The match when Eric Redbird came out. I rewatched that.
I was sick, man. Yeah, that was.
I rewatched the whole show. That whole thing. I just watched it like the day after. And the day after that was sick.
Yeah.
But sorry, someone else was talking.
No, I was going to say recently, I think it was the freeway at Hard to Kill, Manic, Rahit Roju, and Chris Bay. I think that's the X Division, and especially with their link up with AEW now. I feel like the X Division is going to soar to a completely different height now.
Yeah.
Completely different height. Like there's so many. Like I love the whole open border, open door format that they have, where anyone can come in, anyone can go out. So. You know, I'm excited to see what happens within the next year in terms of like how they try to implement these other shows into the X Division, because I feel like the X Division has so much potential.
So tell a lie, the match we watched was Jay White and Kota Ibushi from Wrestle Kingdom.
Match.
Yeah, that was
sick
match.
From start to finish, and the end when he's trying to grab the belts.
Yeah.
You see his promo he did backstage.
Yeah.
He's literally like losing his mind, like 5 stages of grief. That was sick. That made me rewatch the match again. That was sick. That was too sick.
I think the last match I rewatched was Drew versus Keith Lee. So you see, when I had that match in front of the Legends after everyone was sitting down, I had to rewatch that match because that match was sick. I think that could be a contender for one of the matches of the year so far.
Me,
I'm being honest. That's point out there, innit? So
I actually, sorry, go on.
I'm done, bro.
The Cesaro Bryan match, I could watch that again. I'm actually going to watch that again.
Facts.
That match was reminded me of Kurt Angle Benoit. Seriously, please just watch that match. The technicality.
You said that online as well, didn't you?
Exactly, yeah. Like honestly, I copied that statement. I can't lie, because it is. It did remind me of it, bruv. When Angle said, I said, bruv, that fully reminded me of Angle and Benoit. It's just, it was nuts. Even the AJ match of Ricochet, that finish was amazing. I said, yeah, AJ, that's why AJ's the best.
Man, alley-oop to human. He alley-oop to human.
Couldn't believe it, bruv. Right. I said, what? He come off the rope and then caught him in the Styles Clash. I thought, I was God.
I think we need to give credit to Ricochet. I personally feel like he's the one that came up with that finish.
Of course he did.
I feel like he definitely came up with that finish, man. Like the thing with Ricochet, that he annoys me because he's so good. Like as much as I cuss him, I'll never deny Ricochet is one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Facts.
I just wish that the thing is, it's like your friend that wants so much for you. Your friend knows how good you are, but because you're not exerting yourself in a way where everybody can see how talented you are overall, it annoys me because it's like, fam, you're so good. Like sometimes I think to myself, like, fam, if I could turn back time, I'll catch him in Kentucky and say, bro, work on your promos, fam. You don't know how life is going to change for you.
Look at you in Kentucky.
Yeah, fam.
How can he not spit a pro? I don't know, man. Maybe it has to be within you, but fam, I don't know. How can he not say a promo by now? Like, how can he not actually cut a good promo by now? I won't lie. Like, I cannot lie. Like, you need to have a good promo by now. Like, you've been in the main roster for a minute now. Like, get some training tips. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on?
But this goes back to a point I had a few months ago. Does this now mean that WWE's developmental system has failed accordingly? Because
not necessarily. I just feel that Ricochet still hasn't found himself as a character in WWE. That's what
But I think the booking has helped, though. But the booking has made it worse for him because when he was just like, he's mostly losing. And he's been like getting murked by Retribution, getting murked by Hurt Business. It's just like, how are you going to feel motivated? But that's not enough to... I don't think he's put enough effort in his promos because I've never seen a good Ricochet promo.
Even in like, we have to deep it like this. Like in NXT, he was able to thrive because he didn't really have to say too much. He was working around people that could speak very, very well. Whereas with the main roster, it kind of has to be of like a balance of both. You have to be able to give as much as you're taking.
Yes.
And you know, he's worked with the likes of AJ Styles. He's worked with the likes of Bob. Like he's worked with people that can really, really, really speak. He's even tagged up with Cedric Alexander, someone that can really speak well. Yeah. So that's why I even posed the question like months ago. Like, you know, we've got these wrestlers that are talented wrestlers. They're talented, like in the ring, but you've gone through NXT developmental system, which they've clearly deviated from. Because how can someone come in? It's clear that you guys know his weakness, but you guys haven't worked on that.
So he has the tools to now go to Raw, SmackDown.
Yeah. It's just...
It's a weird one, man.
I want the best for him, man. Honestly.
Same.
Do you know what it is? You see when what's his name? I think was in a clubhouse one day, and I forgot the brother's name. I think it's Neil, and he said something, and I slightly agreed with it. He was like, "Big up Neil." He was like, "Big up Neil." He's saying something about like how Vince McMahon was cheap in Hollywood, right? So wouldn't it make sense for him to bring in some actors or, script writers or someone just to like teach these guys how to speak, the guys that can't speak, like have like coaching classes or monologue classes and stuff. And do you know, I agree with it a bit, but then again, I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's good, but I feel like it will be too scripted.
It'll be too. That's my thing. That's my thing.
I'm not opposed to it. I don't think it's a fact of it being too scripted. I think there's a way you can coach someone, because the same way with wrestling, you're obviously going to teach someone the basics and then they're going to obviously formulate their style from there on there. So if you just bring someone in, and even if you do like 1 or 2 classes saying, you know what, these are people that will help you kind of express yourself in terms of like what you're doing on TV, then as time goes on, you're obviously going to, because let's be real, like, with certain people, they have it within them. I'm sure that people like The Rock and Roddy Pipers and Chris Jericho, they've been able to kind of like formulate a character that's come from themselves. Whereas there's other people that have kind of had to like borrow from here to kind of make a character for themselves. So it's not like, let's plain and simple. A lot of these wrestlers haven't got 2 heads. That's as simple as it is. So even if you do bring someone in to kind of like coach people, because NXT do all the time, they have all these former wrestlers come in and do guest coaching, whether it's in-ring stuff, whether it's promo stuff. So I don't think bringing in like someone that does monologues and stuff I don't think that's a bad idea. I think it's good, so that way they can take as much as they can and then adapt it to their kind of style. I personally don't think you should be like, WWE is not, it's a TV show at the end of the day. It's sports entertainment. You have to be able to have, of course, not everyone's going to have the total package, but really and truly, WWE is more for people that can actually speak as well as they can wrestle. And even if you can't wrestle, it's because you can speak very, very good.
Exactly. Okay. That's what I was going to say. There needs to be an emphasis on character, especially if you're going to be in WWE, because a lot of times when they come out, you're going to have a mic in your hand. You got to talk. You can wrestle well, or you can have sick gear, but if you can't talk on a mic, then a lot of people lose in wrestling. Yeah. And we've seen wrestlers who can't wrestle as well as Ricochet, or as well as AJ Styles, can also have sick matches, or even just have a sick segment. Because that's another thing. You could just be a part of something where you got to do something, and if you're just there, I can wrestle well. Okay, can you talk? No. No one's going to care. Not everyone's going to be reading up on you and thinking like, you're the sickest. Yeah, man. Like, as much as there's fans like us who will do our research and look up someone and be like, yeah, this guy's sick. Some people, the first time they're seeing Keith Lee when he comes on TV, and if he can't talk well, they're going, he's just some guy. Next. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. The difference between the main roster and these NXT people, it's different, man. When you go to the completely different.
There's some people that can talk in NXT though.
Like, let's not see exactly. Yeah, let's not stretch it. There's people in NXT that can speak.
80% of the main roster, Adam Cole can speak, bro. Don't even get twisted.
Yeah.
He's even tailor-made. From Ring of Honor days, he could talk. He made everyone else in Ring of Honor like some indie dons because he could speak and carry himself well. Like, there's other people in NXT as well, like obviously Velveteen Dream. There's fair people.
Yeah. Well, but what's it? What else do we need to cover before we wrap up? Anything else happen?
More or less touched on everything, I think.
Yeah. I don't know.
Quiet start to the year, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Obviously we didn't do Ask Wrestlings this week, but one question I want to ask everyone here is this.
Yes.
There was a discussion on Clubhouse, and again, Neil brought us the discussion again, and he was saying that how wrestling is not the same no more because the little guys can beat up the big guys now. For example, you get people like Darby Allin. Darby. I
said Darby Lee.
Darby Allin taking on.
What's going on, people? It's your boy, Big Wavy Roy Johnson, and you're listening to Wresthings.
Darby Allin taking on Brian Cage and winning. Like, stuff like that don't make sense because of the physique and stuff and whatnot. But what do you guys think? Because I feel like for me, I'll answer first, and then after whoever wants to jump on.
Man was about to say open the floor. This nigga thinks this is Clubhouse.
So guys, I want to piggyback. I want to just piggyback off Sam Black's.
Let me land.
It's a safe space. It's a safe space.
It's a safe space.
So I was gonna say, bro, the game's changed, fam. Man, like, bro, no matter what size you are, big, tall, small, short, skinny, big, like whatever in it, bro, you can get it. Do you know what I mean, fam? You can either lose it or you can get it. And I feel like the days of having man in the ring looking bare bulked up saying it's done, bro. Like a man like what, for example, Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero defied the Eddie Guerrero beating Brock Lesnar was a moment. Do you know what I mean? Because look how small Eddie Guerrero was. And he took on Brock Lesnar and he won. Obviously, he had help from Goldberg, but bro, he carried he didn't look like Little Man in that match. Do you know? Actually, he looked like Little Man a bit, but he didn't look like he wasn't gonna win.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But I think that's what makes it. No, sorry, I'll let you finish, bro.
Even Daniel Bryan, when he took on Triple H and Batista, these guys are big wrestlers, bro, compared to Daniel Bryan. And I'm talking in terms of physique. And Daniel Bryan won. For us, a moment, fam, the game has changed. Like, there's even when I think about it, even back in the day, like someone like, because even it makes sense, bro, from what the guy's talking about, like the whole thing of him not like letting me grudge. Because obviously during his time, you had people like Yokozuna beating Bret Hart when technically Bret Hart could beat Yokozuna. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Just weird stuff like that, man. But yeah, go on. What do you guys think?
I want to say, I just think that's what makes it. That's what it's the variety, isn't it? I mean, there's not even wants to see a host versus host match. Like, that's what makes it dynamic. Because even like Eddie Guerrero was small compared to Brock Lesnar, but then Brock Lesnar was small compared to Big Show, and then they had their match. Brock Lesnar was a smaller guy. It doesn't always just mean it has to be Rey Mysterio versus Big Show, but it's unbelievable. And it's even how the match plays out as well. Because like I said, if you look in that Darby Allin versus Brian Cage, you'll think that makes no sense. But if you watch the match, you see how he has to fight to get the win, and that's what makes the story. So there's plenty of matches that I defy that. I don't agree with that.
Definitely.
I feel like it's always like for me when I see it, it's like a game. I used to have this idea about it being like a David and Goliath sort of thing, but I feel like that imagery is gone now. I don't have that no more for certain wrestlers. Like for example, with a prime example, like say if Eddie Kingston was fighting someone like Jungle Boy. Or not even Jungle Boy. What's the other guy? What's the other guy in John Wrestling?
Marco Stunt.
It's actually Jungle Boy. Marco Stunt, yeah. You know Marco Stunt's gonna lose that, bro. But Jungle Boy, do you know what I mean? Like I won't look at Jungle Boy as like the David or Goliath sort of situation because I can see that Jungle Boy can actually win. Do you know what I mean? Not actually win, but he can actually put up a fight and something could happen from it. So But
respectfully speaking, he was chatting cack, man. I'm so sorry, man. He was chatting cack off, man. I just feel like, the times have changed, and like the whole David and Goliath thing there's still a bit of a factor to it. Like, as humans, naturally we like the underdog. You know what I'm saying? So that story, even in 100 years' time, that's going to be there. So, I mean, is it unrealistic? To a degree, but if the story makes sense and there's some sort of like overcoming, we're all going to look at it like, you know what, he done that shit. We're not going to look at it and say, man, that shit was so fake, man. He shouldn't have won because that guy's bigger than him. Like nobody really cares. So I mean, I understand it, but then more time than none, even that period where he was wrestling, people like Shawn Michaels are beating Sid Vicious and Vader. Like this is not new. This is not a new phenomenon. So
that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying about the whole
This isn't new. So like when he said it, in my head I was thinking, No, but you know what I mean? Like, this is not new. You know what I'm saying? So when people, like for me, like, if you're a real wrestling fan, I just feel like, so someone like Stone Cold, who, you know, he recognizes how great how it was back in the day, but he still appreciates what's going on now. He's not comparing and saying, oh yeah, back in my day, this was better because of this, that. Sure, like Stone Cold, he appreciates what's going on now and he's in tune. So I feel like people always comparing what happened back in the day to now. It's a redundant argument. Like, if you love wrestling, you love wrestling. Just enjoy it for what it is. There's no need to complain and say, you know what, it's unrealistic now. It was unrealistic back, like, to a certain degree. It was unrealistic back then. We had men in trash, in flipping, in jail suits, or flipping repo men and all of that shit. And you're telling me that was realistic back then? Like, come on, man. Come on. Yeah. Let's be real. But yeah, I understand it because it can be a bit jarring at times. But at the same time, it's like, where, like, if we look at stuff like MMA, I think he even said it. MMA has ruined wrestling. Because actually, was it him that said it? I read somewhere. MMA is kind of ruined wrestling because
it is.
Anything can happen. You could, like,
MMA, the big man can really knock out the small guy can really knock out.
If you look at early, mid '90s MMA, like the early inception of UFC, where there was no rules,
there was no weight class.
There was no weight class. People just come up on weight. Some of the bigger men were getting knocked out by smaller guys.
Yeah.
And for me, it's kind of like, if this is what's happening in real life, why is this now an issue in wrestling? Why does it have to always be you and man talking up and that's the only way he's going to win the match? That's dead.
You know what? I can understand. Your face there, Duffy. You know, I think I can understand what my man's saying in terms of the big man, little man. Sometimes, because in terms of when I'm seeing Rey Mysterio, obviously I was young at that time, but when I saw Rey Mysterio beat Big Show, I thought, how the hell is that happening? Do you know what I mean?
I understand Rey Mysterio being Big Show because it's like, do you know, let me explain. Can I say it? You see, when you have football here, and it's like, you play a bigger team, you basically play to their weaknesses. Big Show's weaknesses is going down on the floor or going low. Big Show can't go low. So what Big Show's going to do, he's going to try and attack the leg. Then after he attacks the leg, Big Show's going to be injured on the leg. He attacks the other leg's done. Pushes him to the... Do you get what I mean? So it's tactical. It's a tactical match in that sense. But yeah, go on, bro.
No, I just feel... You're definitely coming in that sense. I feel like it's the reality era, so, you know, like, you will see the little man beat the big man now. Like, that's not possible. That's not impossible, like, you know. Like, even in other situations... You know, in my lifetime, I've seen the little man bang a big guy, and a big guy falling on the floor. How can I say that's what happened? Even in the hood, I'm trying to tell you, in the hood, I've seen it. So it's like,
no, that's what I'm saying. Let's not get twisted and think that like because it was the henchman who was going to win. Oh, I've seen henchmen get lit out by the look at this. Trust me. Don't get interested.
Do you know what I mean? Big gym man getting knocked out by a little. Do you know what I mean? Serious.
They're walking all ball and he just gets knocked and it's done.
From that situation. Yeah, that you know, that shows a lot, man.
Big facts.
But yeah, guys, man, I can't wait to get back into the studio because I'm tired of this shit. Yo, what? Fam, I can't even say one episode, but episode 51 of the Wrestling Podcast. I've been a Nafi.
So, boy, Sam Black's Controversial Files coming again. You know,
this Saturday,
actually, gang.
Lucha V. New champ.
Masked Merryman, fam.
Masked Merryman, man.
I did it. I can't lie, girl. You see this? Whose song is it when you said that to me?
I really the best husband. I was watching with my wife. She was just like, "Oh, swear." I was like, "Yeah."
That was funny, fam. I see the husband.
That's sweet. We're not outro now.
No, sure.
We're not.
It's
frozen. I thought his connection went off. Man's doing this.
That's your boy, dope boy. Okay, Guap Daddy, big Guap. You know the vibes.
Yeah, man. Seriously, I can't wait to get back to the studio, fam. I'm tired of this shit already. But guys, it's been sick. It's been sick. Hope you guys stay safe, stay clean and washing your hands. Just look after your families and man. By the mandem.
For the mandem.
For the mandem.
Bow, pussy.
Bow, pussios.